Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair ragale, ni hao, chunashume, washmale, ohaya gonzaimus, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyat, kaifahal, and a very amazing khush amadi to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing Maha Makhdoom and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Maha. How are you today?
I'm very good, Shahzad. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. That's a very kind introduction, and always, I think I feel like I absorb your energy when
Thank you.
you got a lot of energy in the mornings, which is very good, and it's very positive.
And how do you feel now?
I'm feeling better, but I'm still kind of just getting over the last remnants of the flu, and my allergies have also started now. So, but I'm trying to manage it all and do preventative measures rather than cure measures.
What preventative measures are
I'm
you
taking
taking?
antihistamines.
Oh, that's cool.
What else can you do?
And I think that at this certain point of time, we actually need to tell people that for all those people who are out there and who are actually tuned into the show, that you need to get yourself checked up about all of those allergies which might occur or you might suffer from them. Because what we do is that we just think casually that it's just flu, but that's not what the case is. There can be so many other allergies you might be suffering from that you have no idea about. So please make sure that you go to your doctor.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful message to start the day with. But Shazad, how are you doing?
Well, I'm I'm trying to do perfect
Yeah.
because it does get difficult at time, but the love people share with us and their feedback, it keeps on telling you that you have to be back at your workplace and whatnot. But then at times, you kind of miss out on your Z's.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
probably you cannot sleep that much.
Oh, really? You're
But
not sleeping still properly?
well, you know what? Because when you have kids and they're too young, you obviously have to look after them as well. And if they're not feeling well, you have to do that job which our parents did to us. Right?
Absolutely. No, and I can't say I have that issues. I've been getting all my Z's and it's absolutely wonderful. But we
Amazing.
have a wonderful show lined up for you. We are going to be talking about something which affects everyone's mood. It goes into everyone's life, and it's something that can make the world a better place.
Exactly. But right now we have got some entertaining news for you. So let's go and take a listen. Good morning. Villagers performed a spectacular dragon dance in the midst of dazzling molten iron fireworks in southwest China's Chongqiang, attracting around 10,000 spectators. Wow. I hope it's coal fire though.
It looks amazing. And Londoners welcomed the Year of the Dog with a festive Chinese New Year parade in central London. This is what I really like about London. They celebrate all the
I
different
mean, just listening to this
cultural-
news is so different. Year of the dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
There was a Year of the Rat recently too.
Yeah, and then of the elephant too. All right, so moving on, where Russians throughout the country celebrated the festival of Maslenitsa, welcoming the imminent end of winter and the beginning of Orthodox Lent.
And the 71st British Academy Film Awards, more commonly known as the BAFTAs, were held on 18th February 2018 at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Guests at the BAFTA Film Awards showed their support for the Time's Up and Me Too campaigns by wearing black and sending messages from the stage.
And we're going to get you a special segment which will be dedicated towards BAFTA too, and we're going to talk about it.
Exactly, all the
We're
winners.
just preparing it right now.
Yeah. Very important movement and campaigns as well that are being highlighted. And this is what leads us nicely to our next segment as well. Are you ready, Shazad?
Yeah, well, I'm
Okay.
absolutely ready, and I think that's why I was born, and this is where I started my career from, ladies and gentlemen. That, I mean, for all those people who might not know about it, I started working as a video jockey,
Yes.
and my work usually revolved around musicians and music, and
Okay.
this is what we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely. And the importance of music, and within, we're just seeing the BAFTA Awards, people are using these platforms to get important social messages out as well. Within the music industry as well, across the globe, bands have been known to, when the Vietnam War was happening, when you've had different types of wars or social, internal, kind of issues within a country as well, music has always been used as a tool and as a medium to kind of either bridge the gaps or highlight what's happening.
Thank you very much for talking about Vietnam, because I
That's
think we
really
do not
random.
actually have to go far away, because in the 1965 war or in the 1971 war, music played a very pivotal role. Mehrooz his role was very commendable, and thank God that we had radio back then too as well. And
Absolutely.
do you remember any of those songs? Well, I think that I remember one or two of them.
I remember them from the shows that we've done dedicated to them.
Sajile Jawan, Mere Watan ke Sajile
Excellent.
Jawan.
So even our guest, but we will be discussing about what's happening within the music scene right now. Even the last couple of weeks, we've been highlighting the different events that have been happening within Pakistan. But slowly, yet surely, we see that there's a growth within the live performances and everything as well.
And talking about growth, I think that I'll take advantage of the opportunity and say that, for example, we have Face Music Mela over here, and then
Yes.
Rebuzzer came up with another platform,
Yes.
and then other than that, there's this corporate
Art
brand.
Langer.
There's this corporate brand coming up with festivals where there's music and food too as well. So for all of those people, I think this is the best time if you want to release any song or if you want to do any of such sort of venture. But right now, before we introduce to you our guest, we've got a video to share with you guys. So let's start with Azad. I'm free. Let's do it. Go ahead.
वो वादे वो इरादे वो ख्वाब वो ख्याल जो कल तक आस थी वो अब नहीं है अपने हुए पराए उम्मीद सारी टूटी न कोई प्यार है न कोई साथी तो मेरी जिंदगी में आए ऐसे कि दुनिया बदल दी पर अब फासले बढ़ गए हैं और हमें गम नहीं जो कल तक प्यार था वो आज एक खता है बस अब मैं हूँ आज़ाद न कोई गम है न तेरी याद और तुम वो नहीं जिसे मैंने चाहा तुम सिर्फ एक झूठ एक फरेब एक धोखा थे सितम जो तुमने किए तो गम भी सहा था वक्त ही इस दर्द की एक दवा उम्मीदों का सहारा लेके हम चले कोई तो यहाँ पे हो हमारा न तुम रहे ना हम रहे अजब ये दास्तां चाहतों के समंदर में डूबे हम तो क्या जो कल तक प्यार था वो आज एक खता है बस अब मैं हूँ आज़ाद न कोई गम है न तेरी याद और तुम वो नहीं जिसे मैंने चाहा तुम सिर्फ एक झूठ एक फरेब एक धोखा थे अब एक नई सुबह आई है और जाग उठी है जिंदगी दिल के आंसू बहने रुक गए हैं हाँ रुक गए अब मैं हूँ आज़ाद
Okay, so that was Azad by Mehrooz, Waseem, and we've got some wonderful guests in the studio. So let's introduce them and then get the conversation started.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, we've got very talented musicians from Islamabad, and on my right-hand side, first things first, we've got Mehrooz, Waseem. Hello, how are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Shahid. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? And hello, Maha.
Hello,
Oh,
hi.
thank you very much.
He said Assalamu alaikum, so that's fine. Don't worry, I didn't feel neglected.
And alongside Mehrooz, we have been joined by somebody who actually transformed into a monkey, but now appears to be human, proper human, and he's none other than Armaghan. Shahid, hello. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm good, Shahid.
Thank you very much for joining
Hi,
us.
Maha.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so
What did they do to you in the video? Yeah? I mean, she touched you and you appeared as a...
Basically, it was a special power that she had, that every guy she touched, it converts into some sort of animal. So I was a monkey, then there was a snake, and then there was a parrot.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
Superpower.
Yeah, we won't get into that because there's too many potential jokes for Shahzad to go and make. But let's get started with the conversation. In our introduction, we're talking about the importance of music, promoting talent within Pakistan. Last time you were here on the show, we discussed your work. You're working on new music. What have you been doing since you were last here? Tell us more.
Okay, Maha, since I was last here, I came on New Year's.
Yes.
Shahzad interviewed
Oh,
me.
yes, I was
It was a
amazing.
wonderful show, and I had been writing songs, new songs, and I still have been doing that.
Okay.
I've been continuing with that. But there's one song in particular that I wrote, which is very relevant to what's going on right now in Pakistan. And that song is Wo Bacche.
Okay.
And this song is basically, I've paid a tribute to the 13 children who were raped, brutally raped and murdered in Pakistan in the last year and in the beginning of the new year.
Okay. So that's
So-
quite intense stuff you've been working on.
Yes, it's been very intense, but as you know, for an artist, music is a way to express something that you cannot express with your words.
Exactly.
So that's where I decided to write this song.
I mean,
I
it's,
was-
it's good to
yes.
raise your voice about such issues, but don't you think that recently quite a lot of artists have actually started to do the same thing, that whatever is the current trend or whatever is trending on Twitter, they'll just write a song about it, and people might think that, it's their way to get fame.
Actually, this is something that I feel has been ignored.
Okay.
And I think that we haven't really had, as a society, we haven't had an open dialogue on this issue. What happens is that as a nation, we get easily distracted. One moment something happens, we mourn it and we put up DPs and everything, and then we forget it. And we are distracted by other things, be it Lollywood movies or be it some viral thing on the internet or anything like that. But did we really have a dialogue about it? Did we really talk about it openly? I think that's no. It's still taboo. It's still taboo to talk about it.
Okay.
So let's see what's Armaghan's take on this. Don't you think people write about these social issues so that they can actually get into the scene?
I think it's the personal choice. I mean, like, writing a song is about having your own expression.
Yeah.
So that could be about anything. If you feel certainly about a certain segment or certain, like, phase of life, you can write about it. So it could be, like, triggered by social elements as well.
Exactly.
As in Janoon, like, one of the best bands in Pakistan, that's what they did, like, in their time. And that's, you can't, take stabs on them that, like, they tried to be famous. No.
Yeah.
It was the other way around. They were guerrilla musicians at that time who were, talking about what was wrong with politics, what was wrong with the society, how is corruption affecting the overall, environment inside the system. They had this song called At the Saab, if you remember, which even got banned by the government at that
But they picked up on Iqbal's poetry too as well. This is
Exactly.
something which we need to consider.
Okay.
For a true artist, becoming famous is a consequence of putting the work out. It's not really the goal. The goal is to put your own opinion, feelings out there. So,
Yeah, well, and I think
That's
it's
very
not a
important.
consequence, it's an achievement.
sorry, consequence is a negative word. I mean, that is a perk.
Okay.
That's
Okay, so I mean, we kind of got into the really heavy topics of from talking about what we've been up to recently, but that's great. These are areas that we do want to keep touching upon, and we will throughout the conversation. But before we go further into the heaviness, let's talk to Armaghan about, you provided a platform for musicians within Pakistan. We were discussing this the last few weeks as well, that live music, festivals, events, Ari Bazar, Bilal and Adil, they're all putting on these concerts and festivals. How important do you think it is to have venues like your own as a place for people to gather, and also for musicians who may not have cracked the scene to showcase their talent?
Well, I think that's where all the underground music starts from.
Okay.
Because, they don't have a platform, especially in a place like Pakistan. So they have to rely on starting somewhere, and that's basically, usually in college when they have these functions, their farewells or their welcomes or something like that. That's where they start from. So if you go outside Pakistan, so the trend is different. All the best jazz musicians, they all start from playing at bars or cafes, or that's
Or
where
at the age of 5 even.
yeah, even bands like Beatles, or they were popular, and the place where they developed the chemistry were these, bars and like,
Exactly.
wherever they played, basically. So in Pakistan, we don't have an outlet for them. So back in the day, I remember the same restaurant, Satarbash, used to be Rendezvous. Sorry, it used to be CJ back then.
Yeah.
And it used to be very
Civil
popular
Junction.
for the underground musicians back then. A lot of musicians used to come over there.
Exactly.
And the owner had given them that free space. And that's where a lot of bands basically spawned off in Islamabad. Altash, I remember they made the first video.
Altash, yes.
There
They used to be corduroy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they called Corduroy and
Silver Smoke.
Silver Smoke. So Umair Jaswal basically
Yeah. All of us
started
used
from
to
there.
be
So
there.
like, all Islamabad musicians, they basically spawned from that area. And so when I had the opportunity to get that place and get the same thing going again, so I wanted to, because I knew that 10 years down the lane, it is going to have something positive. We might have another Umair Jaswal, or we might have someone,
Exactly.
good who can take this as starting point.
No, but
Absolutely.
this is what I want to emphasize on now. Now, for example, what happens is that you always know that what type of music people want to listen to. You cannot always pick up on a genre of your own
Yeah.
and just keep on singing. Well, that can be true. You're being true to your own self, and you're being true to the artist who lives in you. But I think that if you want to commercially promote your own self, you need to sing commercially too. Then, I mean, you want to take under consideration what the listener's choice is. No?
That's true.
Yeah.
So why don't you think that people are producing that music?
Or are they? Tell us what's happening.
So I'm also, by the way, I'm music director for this Pakistan's first superhero action movie called Project Ghazi. So I have a bit of insight on what goes behind the scene for these producers as well. The problem is that, with Pakistan, our masses are not musically educated that
Yeah.
much. We don't have music as a subject in a school. So, our musicians, our professional musicians, the amount of knowledge they have, mostly like kids in high school in countries outside Pakistan, they have the same knowledge, Because our musicians have to go out of way, they have to struggle to learn and extract knowledge out of internet, out of the books, out of,
Exactly.
anyone they can find, They have a proper curriculum that basically teaches them the music and basically teaches them, how to promote themselves in this art. And in Pakistan, it's also, basically it's, there's a very narrow segment that's where it's defined in, and that's basically entertainment. Music is not seen as an art over here, and that's why it's never taught as an art.
Okay.
It's seen as a segment of entertainment. Okay, it's something on the lighter
Just
note.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Go back home.
There's no literate approach to music basically in Pakistan. So
Okay. So, I mean, that kind of answers your question as well, because that, I mean, if you don't have the education or the foundation of it, then it's going to be harder to kind of just churn out music in order to suit the masses.
So you're looking for basically attention, anything that gains attention or whatever can attain attention of the audience, that's what's going to be successful over here.
But-
Exactly,
but I
that's why
not
it's
the quality
trending.
of music.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest over that. I think that was the reason that I picked up a guitar when I was in my college or probably in my university, just to gain attention probably. And I'm still just playing the same chords, ladies and gentlemen, and Maha is so, disturbed about the fact that I still play the same chords over and over again.
I try to keep the
and
guitars
it's been 4
away.
years now.
Yeah, exactly. Not even. No, you did add one new chord, right?
Yeah, I
But
don't
you
know.
forgot
but-
it. Anyway, so
But see, every musician, whatever they play, their style is influenced by the music that they listen to.
Okay.
So if they listen to rock music, then of course they cannot make songs like, the commercial pop songs
Yeah.
that we listen to.
Ah,
okay, but
Jumail,
so the same question to you, Mehrooz, what Shahid said that obviously in order to crack it, then you need to do something either that will get people's attention or that's trending and has that kind of commercial viability to it. As an artist yourself within an industry which is reviving itself, how difficult or how easy is it to produce music?
Okay, it is. It really depends on what you're doing. Now, if you're a beginner, if you've just gone, like if you're a new talent, then it's obviously there are more hurdles. There is a greater struggle, and you get to see how things happen at the at the ground level.
Okay.
Because from a distance, everything seems pretty easy
Yeah.
and everything, but when you really go into it, then you face the real struggle.
Okay.
And the main issue with producing music over here is it's very expensive.
Okay,
the
I wanted,
production.
okay, I wanted to talk about this as well. I'm glad you picked up on it, but I'll let you finish your point before I dissect it. So, yeah, continue.
Yeah. So the issue is like, I mean, anyone can go and produce their song, but not necessarily talented people will come forth.
Okay.
Rich people will come forth
No, but if
because
we
they
take,
have the money.
you know, if we take inspiration from so many other people, if we're listening to rock music and whatnot, I mean,
Yeah.
why don't we take, I mean, not just from what he did, but as a musician, Kurt Cobain, you know, used to actually sit down, you know, sing a song, and that's it. It's out there. So, you know, you really do not have to invest on, you know, production, mix and master, and there's so many other ways to rinse out money from people these days that people have no idea about it.
they used to
Or, I'm going to
produce-
send your song for mix and master to this particular guy in
Yeah.
Dubai. You are supposed to give me these many
Yes.
dirhams. And then the guy's like, okay,
Over
man, I'm not singing
here,
anymore.
the industry, you don't have a lot of options. There are limited number of people who are producing music. So that's why it's not very competitive. So they can keep high rates. And
Okay,
that's
the thing is that
but of course, you can find musicians who are, you know, who are within your budget. But the thing is, you can also easily produce music, but that will be with like you can find someone abroad who doing
okay.
that.
Armaghan.
Okay, so on the defense side of the producers, I would like to say that the reason that they cost so much is because music equipment itself is very expensive. If you look at the professional music equipment, and in Pakistan, obviously there's no industry as such where you can make a return out of it.
Yeah.
Even like, you know, if you can return the principal that you invested, it's a blessing for most of the producers, I know personally. And the thing is that this equipment, once you purchase it, it's going to be obsolete within
2 years.
2-3 years, because something new and something
cards
cheaper
coming
and
in,
something
you know.
better is going to come. And no one's going to buy that from you, what you have already invested in. So music production worldwide, as like, you know, even film production or anything to do with media is actually very expensive, because the cameras, because the equipment, the mics, everything, they, on a professional scale, they cost like, you know, quadruple.
Okay, but I'm
basically.
going to tell you one amazing thing, and that is that, you
Tell
know,
us, Shahid.
whichever year it was and you bought your guitar, it's still the guitar, and we actually want you to, you know,
Yes.
just disturb its string and sing quite a lot of songs too as well. So let's do something for our viewers.
Yeah, and I want to break down this producer stuff as well about the cost in a moment.
Yeah.
But let's
It's not
No,
an
no,
attack
before-
on
no,
anyone,
we're gonna talk
it's
about
the
it.
dynamics.
Yeah, we're going to
they're
talk about
really-
it. We're going to talk about it later. First, we would like you guys to perform something for us.
Yeah.
So, Mehrooz, if you can, are you guys going to perform together, or?
Yeah.
Because I know you guys
And I
have
like your
jammed
guitar,
together.
yeah. It's
He's
right.
going to perform his own song.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
wow, that's
perform.
cool.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
because
take
he's
turns.
a composer.
Okay.
Wow.
He composes his own instruments.
Okay, so what are you playing?
So I'm going to be playing Wo Bacche.
Okay.
The songs, as I said, it's a tribute to those 13 children who were brutally raped and murdered,
Okay.
and who were victims of sexual abuse.
Okay.
So this is for them. खिलते फूलों की तरह मासूम, पर उनकी कदर न थी उन्हें मालूम। हवस की आग में हुए जो मजबूर, साबित होंगे एक दिन उनके गुनाह आखिर क्या था उनका कसूर?
गई बस एक याद, कल तक हंसते खेलते थे, आज हमें आंसू दे गए वो। क्यों हुए वो बच्चे हमसे दूर, आखिर क्या था उनका कसूर। क्या हमें एहसास है, क्या ये इंसाफ है, क्या हमें एहसास है, क्या ये इंसाफ है। काश हम एक नई दुनिया बनाए, जहाँ हर जान और जिस्म की कदर हो, नफरत और जुल्म को मिटा दें, सिर्फ प्यार की जीत हो। क्या हमें एहसास है, क्या ये इंसाफ है, क्या हमें एहसास है, क्या ये इंसाफ है।
Thank you
Very
so
well
much.
written and very well sung, ladies and gentlemen. At this point of
Thank
time, we
you.
definitely want to promote, this field, this career, this line of work
Absolutely.
for women too as well. And to talk about that, I think I'll take inspiration from Nazia Hassan, because she was the
Absolutely.
one who actually started pop music in Pakistan. So we've got one of the songs from Nazia Hassan's album too as well, Disco Diwane,
Yes.
coming your way. Go ahead, Diwano.
That's awesome.
Back everyone, and that was Disco Divani for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was to get your guys' days going. But now, as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, and as we are promoting talent within Pakistan and talking about the music scene here, we cannot ignore what's happening in the rest of the world. Recently, as you mentioned in the beginning of the show, the BAFTAs were happening as well. And we want to share some more things around the world, around the globe, which are happening. So let's take a look at the BAFTAs. It's a performance, and it's been inspired by Shape of Water, which won the best film as well. So let's take a look.
Wow. Very different and unique the performance was, ladies and gentlemen, but it's about time that we actually get back to our stars over here in the studio. So Armaghan, now, so you have this cafe where you want to promote music and then you do background scores for films too as well. So what kind of music do you always wanted that, okay, this is what I want people to listen from me?
Can you specify, like,
I mean, you have to tell me that, what kind of music do you want to share with people out there? Because, when you're working on films, a producer will come, he'll tell you, okay, this is what we want. So it's totally not based on what you wanted to do, right? So what is your type of music?
Well, my kind of music, if I have to get closest to it, so Hans Zimmer's music, if you know him or heard his music, so that's the sort of music that I like, basically. And I think that it's very intelligent music in a way that it actually captures the very emotion of the scene that you're looking at, and that's the basic, science of the background music.
And just like we just saw the performance of the BAFTA video performance as well, it's about, that's the thing, most of the films, if you see it, the emotions are triggered by the music. Why are horror films scary? Because the music is so intense, and it's the music. I realize once you close your ears, it's not that scary.
Exactly, that's how it is. And I think if you're going to remove the background scores, it won't be the same movie again.
Yeah, actually there was one movie, I don't remember its name in Hollywood, but the first time it released, it did a box office of about, I don't know, about $40,000-$50,000 in total, and it was a massive flop. The director took it back, and he got a new music composer on it, and when he did the music score, that movie won about 3 awards.
Was that the Halloween film? No,
I don't remember the name, but it was back in the 70s or 80s, but that's a prime example that all the musicians give, that, this is the difference that music itself makes in, giving that message.
And on that note, you are also a composer yourself, so let's hear something about something that you composed, like what emotions you're trying to trigger with this.
Okay, so this one is, since I'm on PTV, so this is a very Eastern Desi sort of instrumental that I composed, and I'll just...
But this is PTV English.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, it's all about promotion.
We're in Pakistan, so...
Yeah, but we're in Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But what I mean is you can do both.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So
I
that's
think
got
you
the
just enlightened my
Eastern,
spirit too as well.
Western, yeah. That's almost like the Spanish type, you know, the
Yeah, but
on the
it's,
Spanish guitar.
It's
actually,
giving Middle Eastern si
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Middle Eastern vibe, so it's the harmonic scale basically. So
Okay.
that gives you that element of that Eastern feeling
Like
basically. And that's it's a combination of like Eastern notes within the Western structure.
It's
of music.
Yeah.
Arabian kind of.
Yeah, it's more Arabic.
Beautiful, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, because the way my brother plays these
Okay.
these rhythms as
Arpeggio,
well.
okay.
But there was a sitar feel as well, absolutely.
Yeah, it was like, you're on an English channel, but you're hosting a Urdu show. I mean, if you want to see it in my terms, I think that's how it was.
Yeah.
But now, since we are running out of time too as well, Mehrooz, how do you think that, in days to come, music's going to evolve? Because we have seen earlier there were music channels. Now there's only one music TV channel. And then now we have online music channels as well. And anybody can be a star with YouTube or having your own channels as well.
Yes.
So how do you want to progress with this?
I just want to keep putting my work out there. I am also affiliated with many of these platforms. Just when I released Azad, then I was affiliated with, SoundCloud or YouTube pe to hai hai. Everyone has access to that. I'm on that as well with the name of Mehrooz Waseem. And but I'm also on Patari, on Tazi. And these platforms are very good for local artists because they have a payment method as well.
Okay.
Wow.
They actually pay you for putting your songs
Patari
up
and Tazi
there.
both.
Yes.
Okay, so
they both do.
and before we move on, I just want to ask you, as a female artist as well, and with all of these social platforms, how do you think it has helped you, regarding your music career?
It has helped me quite a bit because it has made it very easy for me to put myself out there. When I can just sit in my drawing room and I can play my guitar and sing my song and put it on social media. So that has a very good reach, and it has a global reach.
Just go live on Facebook, that's it.
Go live on
Yes,
Facebook, go
wonderful.
live on Instagram, which is great. But besides that, it's also very important for a performer to do live shows. And,
Absolutely.
because I've been primarily a very indoors singer. I've been doing it indoors mostly. But in the last year, I've started performing more and more in gigs.
Okay, excellent.
And that has given me a different kind of exposure and a different kind of energy and a different kind of learning and growth happens with that.
Absolutely, and that's wonderful. And this is something that we've seen progress and evolve over the last 4.5 years since we started our show. Remember, in the first year, there were no places that were doing gigs, next to no one for artists to perform. So that's
I
wonderful.
told you about Face in the last show. That's
Yeah.
a very good new
I
platform
mean, I don't want
for
to say this, but
artists.
I think that
But yeah,
the majority of the people doing good business is because they came to our show. I'm sorry for saying that.
No, we've seen lots of people go.
But
It's
how do
great.
you see it that, finally you have a platform over here in Islamabad that, people can come, we're trying to nurture raw talent too as well. How do you see it? Do you see it as an opportunity?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think at this time the trend is that this is the age of content basically. What we're lacking right now is that we have a lot of performance, but nothing is being captured and being uploaded and getting that sort of organic reach that it can within this day and age. So that's what my plan is basically, to start creating content of all the events that happen and have it, properly directed and
But it's difficult to decide whether the reach is organic or not because there's too much like farming going on these days.
You know what?
But it doesn't matter.
I don't think that matters as well. I think that
For me, it was
As
never
long-
about likes and popularity or anything because I made my first song when I was 18 years old. And I wasn't into these things, getting famous and all of that.
No, but I mean, if you want to make a career out of it, then
Yeah.
why not?
When-
Okay, Armaghan, finally, what did you want? You wanted to finish off what you were saying?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I want to start creating content and I want to start pushing that content. So that basically, bridges the gap between the artist and the audience. And that's what, principally being a platform, that's what I see, like, how I can benefit the music because I'm just like, a medium that can provide or bridge the gap between the artist and the audience. So best way I can do it is because at one time I can, at max entertain 100 people. But
Okay.
if you have a content made, it's for
Absolutely.
lifetime.
For everybody.
Yeah, it's for
Exactly.
everyone and for lifetime, basically.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
today
you.
to discuss what's happening within the music scene, especially within Islamabad as well. And we will be sharing any events that will be happening within the major cities as well. And if you want us to, if you have an event, write to us. We can also send out the notification there because it's all about bridging social and community vibes and knowing thy neighbor and treating them kindly.
And just to do that, I think what you need to do is that you probably need to log on to their Facebook or Instagram, since we were joined by Armaghan, and then we were joined by Mehrooz too as well. But towards the end, we want you both to do a song for all of us,
Can we
for
do
all
it?
those people
Can
who
we
are
do
out
a
there.
collab?
If you can do that. But let us wrap up the show too as well.
Exactly.
So ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a
on
G.
Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
This fabulous repeat's going to be at
11:05 p.m. this evening.
till the next time. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's it. Take it away.
This is a famous Amir Zaki song. I'm sure you guys have heard it. Mera Pyar. The legendary.